Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you're all having a lovely week out there. Had a great hump day. Hope the holiday season's treating you well. Man, this is just going by so fast, isn't it? We're 1 week away from Christmas if you celebrate Christmas, and I just can't believe how fast this year has gone by. It's just insane, actually. Anyhow, today I want to talk about emotional eating and the raw vegan lifestyle and how it just doesn't make any sense. Guys, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you go down and hit that subscribe button and come back and check out some of my content. I got a lot of videos here, got on a lot of different subjects, so go check out some of the playlists that I have. I was thinking about this one in bed the other night because, for the past 7.5 years, I hear people, emotional eating. That is just a big subject. I've had a number of people ask me about it, and mainly I just see people talking about it all the time. And it seems to be a big trip up for a lot of people. And it just like, especially from my personal situation, it's like zero logic to me. I can't even process like the way that most people think of emotional eating and how and why people would want to do that. It's been a bit of a challenging year for me. I'm not one of these to come on and air all my laundry and tell you all the demons I got going on up in this crazy head, because that would probably scare you. But yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge this year, and I've had anxiety. I've had other issues I've dealt with that I continue to deal with. On a lot of those nights when I'm having anxiety during the night, I think about this and I'm like, sometimes I believe the only thing actually keeping me sane is the way I'm eating. Because that's just easy for me. I'm not a fanatic. I don't try to be perfect. I'm not trying to, I don't judge I don't have all these constant up and downs. In other words, I guess I don't do emotional eating. I've always had emotional balance on this lifestyle. And as I was laying there the other night thinking about it, it really dawned on me just how little sense that emotional eating makes the way some people do it. Now, for me, I understand the concept of emotional eating, and probably to some extent, I even engage in some emotional eating myself. It's just that what most people do when they're talking about emotional eating on the raw vegan lifestyle doesn't make any sense to me, because we have so many good tasty things we can eat anyway. Like this morning, for example, I'm eating some nice cream. All right. Now, yeah, like I say, I understand emotional eating and just, not necessarily even emotional eating, but just eating for different purposes other than just fueling our body. Whether it's just, whether people like to call it a cheat night or emotional eating or whatever. I've done that before, where I eat something that I don't normally eat because I'm celebrating something, or I'm watching something on Netflix, or I'm doing this or that. But the thing is even when I'm engaging in emotional eating, I don't understand why people go way off the rails and eat some real serious garbage when we have so many tasty things, when we have so many things that are really, you would think that they would be something, that we shouldn't eat within the confines of the raw vegan lifestyle or the way I eat it. Like as I was eating my nice cream this morning, like I say, I'm like, this is about as good as it gets. I mean, come on, think about it. What do people talk about all the time? Drowning their sorrow, if they're not a drinker, drowning their sorrows in a pint of Rocky Road ice cream. Well, you can add ingredients in, I put my cacao nibs in there. If you need to emotionally eat some chocolate chip ice cream. I can make some chocolate chip ice cream for you that's just as good as chocolate chip ice cream that you're going to get at the store. And there's no guilt afterwards. And that's what I'm getting at, where kind of that whole food factor plays in there. I've done that in the past. We've all probably done that in the past. It's real apropos during this holiday season. I remember back in the day doing just like everybody else, just eating yourself into an insane state. Just eating so much until you're like going back for seconds. Or we've all dealt with that. I've dealt with that so many times. it's kind of like drinking. I kind of relate it to back when I used to drink, and I didn't get that lesson until very late in life. Like, you've got an issue going on. You got a problem. You've got something that's stressing you out. You got something that's giving you anxiety. You got something that's making you sad. You got something that's making you mad. And you decide your thinking is like, okay, I'm gonna indulge in something that I don't normally indulge in. That's probably not the best thing for me, in the pretense of making this emotional situation better. And oh my God, nothing's further from the truth. It's just like, come on, everybody's going out to have a drink. Have you ever gone out drinking to get over a problem, to forget a problem, to take care of a problem? You go out, you get drunk, you feel good for about 15 minutes before you start feeling bad. And then the next day you got to deal with all that guilt. And then you still got that problem, whatever problem it is that's leading you to that emotional state. But now you got an extra level of kind of like the guilt of, oh, why did I eat this? I shouldn't have eaten this, and then kind of beating yourself up. I've done it in the past. I used to be a binge eater back in the day. I was kind of a binge eater. I wasn't like a constant binge eater. It wasn't like I would, just all day, every day. I mean, I wasn't that big, but I would go on I would get on a kick sometime where I'd have a day, or I'd have 2 or 3 days, and I'd just eat everything. And as I was eating this stuff and I was engaging in this emotional eating, the emotional part of it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So it's counterintuitive. I mean, I don't have a solution for you to this other than to just think about that the next time you're about to engage in whatever your thing is, your drug of choice is. I mean, I'm pretty serious when I say the way that I eat and the way that I live now is probably about the only thing that at times has kept me sane in this current situation where I find myself in a small town where I don't know anybody, where I'm kind of like, fish out of water, and I'm just kind of in limbo for a while. I was thinking the other day, if I had come back here into this particular set of circumstances when I was still a drinker and when I still ate the standard American diet, I've been back here for about 2.5 years now. I'd probably be a total mess, a basket case by now. I'd probably be back to slow sipping. In fact, it's about 12:30, 1 o'clock right now. This would be about vodka o'clock. I'd be pouring myself a vodka and sipping for the rest of the afternoon. I'm here in the dirty, dirty South. I'd be eating a lot of fried food. I would probably have just deteriorated. When I came here, I'd have probably been like, okay, well, I'll eat a healthier version of this standard American diet like I've done in different places. But I think in this particular situation, I would have deteriorated if it had not been for the food. And that just keeps me like, I'm very aware of that. And I think even sometimes that's why I eat as simple as I do. Just the simplicity of sticking to, certain amounts of foods. And I should mention here that this is, I'm not trying to sell you on a raw diet. That's something, take this way of thinking, this kind of philosophy for any way you're eating. Okay, maybe you disagree and you say, okay, well, I feel the best when I'm eating like this. Well, all I'm trying to say is eating something way outside your parameters, eating something that you deem to be bad, that you felt with your body is not beneficial for you, is only going to make the situation worse. It's going to make it worse. And to be honest with you, I always thought the real buzzkill of like binge eating, emotional eating, all that kind of stuff is when you're doing drugs, even when you hit the crack pipe or you do something that's not a long high, at least you got a little something left over afterwards. With food, you got those few minutes, those few seconds where it's on your tongue and you're getting the taste of it. Then you swallow and you might get that little afterglow just for a few minutes, but there's no after enjoyment with the food. As soon as you eat it, it's like, it's over. And then bam, boom, you just start feeling like, well, now I've got another problem. I had whatever problem it was that led me to eating whatever I was going to eat. And now I feel like I feel when I eat that, because we all know we have certain foods or certain behaviors that doing this behavior makes us get down on ourselves or feel a little depressed or whatever. But in the end, I'm kind of just rambling here, but the emotional eating just makes no sense whatsoever. Think of it like that. The next time you're going through something and you're about to eat something just because of that, just think about it. A lot of times we can fix so many things in our life by not making this big deal, and I'm going to go on this kick and I'm going to do this and I got a list and I'm blah 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 blah, just simply by thinking before we acting. Thinking and giving it a couple of minutes. Do I really need to eat this? I'm going to leave you with this. Here's a little trick for you, because a lot of times you can ride out a craving or whatever. The next time you're about to dive into that emotional eating, I just want you to do one thing. Just one thing. Before you do it, recognize that you're about to do it. Tell yourself, this is probably not behavior. This is not beneficial behavior for me. And wait 30 minutes. And just tell yourself, just put yourself on the clock. Say, I'm going to eat this in 30 minutes. Think about it. Kind of be mindful of it. Maybe meditate on it for a couple of minutes, but give yourself 30 minutes. You may still eat it in 30 minutes, but I'm going to bet you something that is going to prevent you, after you actually are aware of it, acknowledge it. That'll help you some of the time. But anyhow, just my 2 cents worth on all this, like all of it is. Hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk again soon, maybe tomorrow. Peace.